Hey folks, we're back. Project Strawberry v0.3 has dropped, and it is time for me to give you a demo. So I went real hard last weekend. Eliott played with it for a while, and then I just churned, and we've got a lot of stuff in here, and we have a lot of new ideas that I am super eager to cook up next week. One thing I started to do here was I started to actually track these versions. So rather than just saying, hey, this is update number 1, this is update number 2, we're going to actually add some version control here. And then my thought here is that we'll keep the v0 dot approach going for a while, and I'll put together a video with every minor version. So this one is generally what I'm doing now is I'm collecting pull requests, and then I'm working with Claude that will help synthesize all of those together. And so what do we have since v0.2? We now have accounts, so we can jump between machines and have the games themselves registered for a particular account, which is going to make it easier to open up a little bit sooner. And secondly, we're starting to store more in the database so that it's, even though we had done accounts, we had at least had the concept of it. It was still behind, the site was still behind password protection, and there was a lot getting stored in local storage. So we're not doing much of that anymore. I've started to bring in some of Eliott's art, which is very cool. And we've introduced the concept of time, and we've pulled from a few different games, but introduced time and the ability to slightly change or alter the speed of time. And now we're starting to hook in some activities to that time, which is pretty cool. And then one of the biggest piece of feedback that Eliott had for me last week was that she wanted to build. And the more we talked about it, I realized that she was kind of describing two different modes, that she wanted to experience the game in two ways. In one way, she wants to actually design, I think, the core of the world. And then on the other side, she wants to actually play and experience the game itself. And so we kind of have to draw the line on where those things are. But the more that I worked through that problem, I realized this could kind of be the same thing. So let me show you what's going on here. All right, again, we're not zooming in so we can see all the controls and everything like that, but I can sign in now with Google, and we've got a couple of different games going on. And if let's hit a new game here. We'll call it Garden 2. And now we can move around just like we could before. We can see here we've got some of her artwork, and you can really tell what is hers and what isn't. I am in love with the worms, the worm dirt, and the extent to which my agent decided to use so many of them. I think actually what we're going to do is we're going to start really building in this concept of sustainability. I think I said this last time, but this feels a lot like this is a game that is all about destroying the environment. We're picking strawberries, we're cutting down trees, we're building bridges. No, I want us to get into compost and commerce and things like that. But this was really cool because she had to design 3 different versions of a tree so that as we chop it down, it becomes logs. And I want to show you that real quick. So this I thought was really cool because she just hand drew these things. And it was honestly a little bit time consuming to try to get the colors in here because I had to take what ended up coming in as one shape and then figuring out how to cut them. And I mean, it was amazing to just go to an agent and be like, okay, here's my image and here's what I want to do. Teach me how to do it. And I still end up with some goofy imperfections. Like, why is that part brown? And a lot of it is the way that it got vectorized by the Figma plugin. But I think what's really cool about this is that because she hand drew each of these trees individually, it actually kind of gives this effect like the tree itself is moving as you cut it down, which is really cool. Let me see if we can. Oh, you know what? We can kind of zoom in and keep the controls where they are. Let's mess with it. It's fuzzy, but we'll do it. picked up strawberries instead. And so I just think that's really cool. And now she's got her bridges as well. We need 3 lumber. I don't have 3 lumber. Okay, got to go back to the axe. All right, now I've got 3 lumber and I can build that bridge. And there's her bridge, which is pretty cool. Okay, now the expansion part is the piece that I really want to show you. Is there's, still a lot of this probably feels very similar to the last update. But we've got, okay, so we opened up this space here for it. Let me back up a little bit so you can see a little more real estate. What we'll end up doing is getting rid of all of these barriers because they were in place so that you could never see the edge of the world. What we discovered through this, and this was interesting and it happened very organically, is that you can see that this tile here is water and it's a little bit of a different color than this tile here. Eliott didn't recognize that, and she assumed this is water. Like the edge of the world is just water, which I think is kind of brilliant. And so it won't necessarily behave like water, but we're going to make it the same color. And so you're basically just building into the ocean, so to speak. And now we can build land out here. So I can hit space bar here, and then I don't have a lot of controls, but I can choose between grass, water, dirt, and path. And so, let's say we're going to build dirt, and it's kind of random there. But you can see you've got a little bit of a placeholder here. And then you could switch to water and make it a little pond or something like that. And you could add maybe some grass around it. So this is, it's pretty fun to mess with. And I think there's so much we can do. And so, oh yeah, right. So the one thing that I wanted to show you, one more thing I want to show you was the passage of time. So right now we're in ultra fast mode. And in ultra fast mode, a day lasts, I believe, about a minute 15, I think. So maybe you didn't notice it was right here. I ate those, I harvested those strawberries. So the strawberries take a day to regrow. And so at 1 p.m. on day 4, they will grow back. And so if we're in normal play mode, then the day is going to last 5 minutes. And I think it's about, I think it's 4 times faster. So it should be about a minute or so. And there's 2 stages of them. So we'll see them get the flowers first, and then they'll turn into strawberries after that. And oh, here we go. So yes, so now they're all flowers. That was at the 12-hour mark. And then at the 24-hour mark, they're all going to turn into strawberries and be harvested again. And this is really exciting to me because we're putting in place these foundational elements that we're going to be able to build on, and that basically become the underlying rules for the entire world. And it's kind of overwhelming to make those decisions at first, but as we do it, we then build features on top of that and then realize those rules worked or they didn't work for one reason or another. And it's just a really, really cool experience. And so there we go. They've grown back. And so we're going to play with a lot of that. And instead of this being just about cutting down trees, I really want it to be a lot about sustainability and building relationships and things like that. And I think there's just a lot that we can all learn while we're doing it, and then hopefully while we're playing it too. But I am having an absolute blast. I feel like it started as just a little experiment, and I feel like I've turned a corner and I am invested in this thing at this point. I'm really excited to see what it can become, and I will keep these updates coming. And, let me know what you want to see in the comments. We'll work in some of your feedback, and hopefully very soon start to open this up so some other folks can jump in and play as well. But that's it for now. This was v0.3 of Project Strawberry. Another update coming for you next week. I'm Sean C. Davis, and I'll see you then.